The Sacagawea dollar started in the year 2000. It shows the famous Native American woman Sacagawea, who helped Lewis and Clark explore the American West. The back of the coin shows a flying eagle. The coin was made to replace the old Susan B. Anthony dollar that people didn't like much. It's golden in color, not made of real gold, but from a mix of copper, zinc, manganese, and nickel. The 2006 P version means it was made in Philadelphia, and that year, about 4.9 million were produced. That might sound like a lot, and it is, which is why most of these coins are not rare. You can still find them in coin rolls, in old drawers, or even in circulation. Normally, these coins are worth only $1, maybe 2 or 5 if they are in perfect mint condition. But what makes collectors talk about huge numbers like $120,000 or more? The answer lies in rare minting mistakes, called errors. When a coin is made incorrectly at the mint, it becomes an error coin, and sometimes these errors are so unusual that collectors are willing to pay big money. The famous example is the 2000 P Sacagawea mule coin, which had the head of George Washington from a quarter on one side and the Sacagawea design on the other. That coin sold for more than $100,000 at auction because it was such a strange and one-of-a-kind mistake. Ever since that story became famous, people have been checking every Sacagawea coin they find, hoping to discover another valuable error. Now, some people online say the 2006 P Sacagawea coin also has a rare error that could make it worth over $100,000. It's exciting to think about, but here's the truth in simple words. There is no official record of any 2006 P Sacagawea coin selling for $120,000 or more. Most normal coins from that year are worth between $1 and $20, depending on how shiny or perfect they are. Even in high grades, that means almost perfect, straight from the mint, they might reach about $900 to $1,000, but not hundreds of thousands. Some collectors or websites might claim that a special error version exists, but without proof from real auctions or grading companies, it's mostly a rumor. Still, that rumor keeps people curious and excited. That doesn't mean you should stop checking your coins. The US Mint has made millions of coins, and mistakes do happen. There are reports of 2006 P Sacagawea dollars with double strikes, rotated dies, or other odd features. For example, one coin was hit twice by the stamping machine while it was still in the collar, the metal ring that shapes the coin. It looked strange, and because of that, it sold for more than a few $1,000s. That's still a lot for a $1 coin. But the huge six-figure stories might come from confusion with the older 2000 P mule coin or people mixing up photos and facts. If you have a 2006 P Sacagawea coin at home, here's what you can do. First, look closely at the coin under good light. Check both sides carefully. Does the picture look normal? Are there any signs of being double-struck, meaning some letters or parts of the design look like they were printed twice? Does the coin seem too thick, too thin, or too heavy? Is the color unusual? Any of these things might be a sign of an error. You can also check the edge, the side of the coin. Some years of the Sacagawea series had lettering on the edge, and if yours is missing it when it should be there, that could be special. If you notice anything strange, don't clean the coin, don't scratch it, and don't try to fix it. Cleaning it might lower the value. Instead, put it in a soft holder or coin flip and take it to a local coin shop or send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you if it's a real error coin and how rare it might be. A certified error coin will always be worth more than an unverified one. Collectors like coins that come with a guarantee from grading services. If the coin turns out to be a simple normal version, no worries, it's still a nice collector piece with an interesting design and a cool story. But if it's a real mint error, then you might have something that could bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Who knows, maybe one day a truly unique 2006 P Sacagawea error will show up, and that's when we might see those six-figure prices for real. So why do people keep talking about the $120,000 number? It's mostly because stories like this go viral. The idea that an ordinary coin in your pocket could be worth a fortune is exciting. It makes you want to check every coin you get back in change. Some people might even make videos or posts saying, "This coin is worth $168,000, to grab attention. And while that number isn't verified by official auction records, the possibility of rare coins hiding in plain sight is what makes collecting fun. It's not just about the money, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the surprise, and the history behind every coin. Remember, even if your 2006 Sacagawea dollar isn't the mythical six-figure one, it still connects you to American history. It celebrates a brave woman who played a key role in the Lewis and Clark expedition, and it's one of the few modern U.S. coins to feature a Native American woman on it. That alone makes it special. And who knows? Sometimes, the coins that seem ordinary today become rare tomorrow. Maybe yours will be one of those hidden treasures waiting to be discovered in the future. In the end, the story of the 2006 Sacagawea dollar is about hope, mystery, and the dream that something small can hold huge value. It's about curiosity, the kind that makes you look twice at a simple golden coin and wonder if you just struck gold. Whether or not the six-figure claims are real, one thing is true. Now imagine finding out that same little coin could be worth $55,000, $73,000, or even close to $98,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true for a few rare 1953 Jefferson Nickels that collectors go crazy for. These coins look almost the same as any other nickel from your change jar, but a small difference, a minting mistake, or a super clean strike can turn it into a life-changing find. So before you toss your old nickels aside, let's go on a little treasure hunt through time and find out why this one small coin can be worth so much. The 1953 Jefferson Nickel was made in Denver, which is what the D stands for. That year, the U.S. Mint produced over 59 million of them. Most were made for everyday use, passing from pocket to pocket, buying gum or soda, and eventually getting worn and dull. Those regular nickels today are worth only about 5 to 10 cents, maybe 50 cents if they're still shiny. But every once in a while, a special one shows up, and that's where the big money comes in. The reason some of these coins are worth thousands of dollars comes down to three big things: errors, condition, and strike quality. When the mint makes coins, things don't always go perfectly. Sometimes the dies that press the design into the coin slip, double stamp, or get damaged. Sometimes the mint mark, the little letter that shows where it was made, gets punched in twice or at the wrong angle. These are called errors, and collectors absolutely love them. The 1953 D nickel has a few known varieties with errors, such as a repunched D mint mark or a double die where parts of the words or date look slightly doubled. These are tiny details, but they make a huge difference. A regular 1953 D might get you a few cents, but one with a perfect error could bring thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands if the coin is also in great shape. The next thing collectors look for is the coin's condition. This is where grading comes in. When a coin comes out of the mint, it's fresh, shiny, and perfect. Over time, as it's handled, dropped, or rubbed in pockets, it loses its sharpness. Coin experts use grades like good, fine, uncirculated, and mint state, often followed by a number up to 70. A coin graded MS67 or MS68 means it's almost flawless. For the 1953 D Jefferson Nickel, the best preserved ones are extremely rare. In fact, the top-graded examples, especially those labeled full steps, are where the value skyrockets. Full steps, or FS, means you can see all the steps at the base of Monticello, Jefferson's home, on the back of the coin, with no smudges or breaks. That level of detail only appears on the very best strikes, and collectors will pay a fortune for it. One 1953 DFS nickel in top condition once sold for more than $15,000, and experts say a perfect one could go for even higher, possibly reaching that $55,000 to $98,000 range if the right buyer appears. Now, let's talk about how to tell if your coin might be special. First, flip your nickel over and look for the small D on the right side of Monticello. That tells you it's from the Denver Mint. Then, grab a magnifying glass and look closely at the steps on Monticello. Can you see all 5 or 6 lines clearly? If so, you might have something valuable. Next, look at the date and the letters on the front. If they look slightly doubled, or if the mint mark looks like it's been punched twice, you could be looking at an error coin. Even a small difference like that could mean thousands of dollars. But don't try to guess the value on your own. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you exactly what you have and give it an official grade, which is what serious collectors and buyers trust. Of course, not every coin will be worth a fortune. Most 1953 D nickels, even if they look nice, are still worth less than $1. But that's part of the excitement. It's like a treasure hunt. Most of the time you find regular coins, but once in a while, you might uncover something extraordinary. Think of it like finding a diamond in a handful of gravel. The fun comes from looking, learning, and discovering what makes one coin stand out from millions of others. The Jefferson Nickel series itself is one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. It started in 1938, featuring President Thomas Jefferson on the front and his famous house, Monticello, on the back. The design didn't change much until the early 2000s, so coins from the 1950s look similar to those from later decades. That's why details matter so much, because the differences are small and easy to miss. A tiny minting flaw can mean the difference between pocket change and a payday worth more than a new car. Many collectors say that the 1953 D nickel is one of the most exciting dates to look for in the Jefferson series because of its potential. It's not the rarest nickel ever made, but it's one of those years where condition and error variety really make all the difference. Some people have found rare ones in old coin jars, rolls from the bank, or even in family collections that have been sitting in drawers for decades. Imagine finding a coin that's been ignored for 70 years and realizing it's worth tens of thousands. That kind of story happens more often than you might think. If you're making a video or showing this to your viewers, you can build suspense by starting with that big, what if? Ask them if they've ever checked their old nickels or their grandparents' coin stash. Then reveal that one of the most valuable nickels of the 1950s could be sitting right in front of them. Keep the words simple, keep the tone exciting, and tell them that anyone could get lucky if they know what to look for. Remind them that the key signs are the D mint mark, the sharp, full steps, and any strange marks or doubling. Even though most 1953 D nickels are only worth a few cents, the rare ones are a collector's dream. In perfect condition, with strong steps and no damage, they can break records. Add an error or a special strike, and suddenly you have a small metal coin that's worth more than gold. It's amazing to think that something made for 5 cents can end up being sold for the price of a brand new car or even a down payment on a house. So the next time you come across an old nickel, don't just toss it aside. Give it a closer look. You never know, your 5-cent coin might just be the one that collectors are hunting for, the one that brings in $55,000, $73,000, or maybe even $98,000. That's the magic of coin collecting, the thrill, the mystery, and the chance that a tiny piece of history could change your life. So grab your magnifying glass, take a closer look at those old nickels, and maybe, just maybe, you'll uncover a fortune hiding right in your hand. The 2009 Lincoln cents are special for a big reason. That year marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself, which first appeared in 1909. To celebrate, the U.S. Mint released 4 different designs on the back of the penny, each showing a different part of Lincoln's life. The one we're talking about here is the Formative Years design, which shows young Lincoln sitting on a log reading a book, with a rail-splitting tool nearby, symbolizing his early years of hard work and self-education in Indiana. The 2009 D Formative Years penny was made at the Denver Mint, and while millions were struck, some have turned out to be incredibly valuable because of special mint errors and variations. These small mistakes or design differences can turn an ordinary penny into a treasure. Let's start with the most famous type, the extra fingers or thumb errors. These happen because of slight doubling on Lincoln's hand, showing what looks like an extra finger or thumb on the coin. The U.S. Mint used multiple dies to create these pennies, and on some of them, Lincoln's right hand shows doubling on his thumb or fingers. There are several known varieties of this error, and collectors call them extra finger, or extra thumb, pennies. Now here's where it gets exciting depending on the variety and condition. Some of these coins have sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars. A strong, clear example in top condition, graded by PCGS or NGC, can sell for over $5,000. And experts believe that if a perfectly preserved, top-graded version with a bold doubling ever hits the auction block, it could bring in tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars if it's a unique die variety. Another type of rare 2009 D penny error involves off-center strikes when the coin wasn't perfectly centered in the press. If your penny shows part of the design missing or shifted to one side, you've got something special. These errors can range in value from $100 to several $1,000s, depending on how dramatic the off-center strike is. Then there are die cracks and cuds. These look like raised lines or blobs of metal on the surface of the coin, caused by breaks in the minting die. While smaller cracks might only be worth a few dollars, big, bold ones that are easy to see can sell for $50, $100, or even more to the right collector. And here's another surprise: the 2009 pennies were made from a different metal composition for collector sets. Circulating coins were made from copper-plated zinc, but the ones in the special mint sets were made from 95% copper, just like the old pre-1982 pennies. These copper versions have a slightly different color and weight, and they can sell for more, especially if they also have one of those rare doubling or extra finger errors. Now, let's talk about condition, because this can make a huge difference in value. Most 2009 D pennies have been used in everyday change, so they're scratched or dull. But if you find one in perfect, shiny, uncirculated condition, especially one that's never been touched by human hands, you're sitting on something valuable. A 2009 D formative years penny graded MS 67 red or higher can sell for $1,000 to $3,000, and the highest graded, best-looking examples have gone for even more. So, how do you know if your penny might be special? First, look closely at Lincoln's hands holding the book. If you see what looks like an extra thumb or finger, even a little bump or shadowy shape, that could be a major error. You can use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to see it clearly. Check both sides for cracks, extra metal, or off-center features. And most importantly, never clean your coin. That can destroy its value. Keep it safe and get it checked by a professional coin grader if you think it's rare. Even though the 2009 D formative years penny is fairly new, it's already become one of the most interesting modern coins for collectors. It represents a special moment in U.S. history, L. Lincoln's 200th birthday, and the spirit of learning and hard work that made him great. And with those rare minting errors, it's also a coin that could bring you a serious payday.